dig oil out of the ground and burn it. And this whole ridiculous process to get it to me, 10 cents cheaper than Doug making it next door, the system dictates it's more efficient to get it from there. Clearly not safer, clearly not more resilient. And we as a global ecosystem, money system, are in serious danger of a systemic crash because of this. So what do we need to do? We need to create diversity in the global economic ecosystem. How we do this is twofold. One thing we need to do is create and stimulate local currencies of all different varieties in all kinds of different localities around the planet. And I think that's what a lot of the discussion piece of today is going to focus on. The other thing that we need to do is systemically work to try to drain some of this excess yang out of the money system. And my main sort of personal work in this area is the development of a design for a global currency that I wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about. And then I want to just open up the floor and maybe we can talk some more about what's going on in New York as well as have people's reflections of what's been said so far. So the fundamental structural features of our money system that make it so problematic are interest, usury, this principle of growth. So we create a system that does the opposite, has this demurrage that Doug was talking about. You know, when your wheat at the end of the year, your 10 bags become 9 bags, this means that money flows around much faster and people don't hoard money. It's interest that causes hoarding. And again, you go all the way the other side to a gift economy, as Charles was talking about, and it's the people who give away most who are the richest. So we want to go in that direction. Second thing is this full faith of the government. Well, good luck. So I want to create a currency that's actually backed by something real and tangible. The only thing that, or the best thing I can think of, is energy reserves in the form of hydrocarbons, whether they be oil and coal, or whether they be over time transitioning to renewable energy, and actually have us as a species, like we used to store grain, actually start to store this stuff, stabilize a lot of our economic issues that come from this just-in-time production of energy, and at the same time have energy that's warehoused back in currency. So if I have some currencies, not just bits in the bank, I know there's a real energy warehouse in a warehouse. The third thing is to relate to the environment in a reasonable fashion and actually acknowledge that the economic system isn't the totality and not everything can be covered in a market system. So the way we do that, which is a little kludgy, but the best thing that I've found so far, is if you're using oil as opposed to renewable fuel like bioenergy, you need to pay an additional amount. And the way we do that is by requiring you to buy carbon credits that sort of clean up the coal or the oil that's being put in the warehouse to back the currency. And the final thing, of course, is that it's global and, say, privately issued, but really sort of publicly issued, the public domain, rather than in the hands of banks. This, on a global scale, will actually drain some of the excess yang energy out of the system, provide stability against inflation, because really what inflation is about is the trying to do too much with the same amount of belief. So having a real tangible asset drains inflation. The demurrage stops inflation. It will bring us back in balance with the natural world, and also bring people into consciousness of energy and provide a positive price signal towards renewable energy. So this is one piece of the kind of systemic design and the solution. The second piece is a network of local currencies, each of which implements one or more of these sort of balancing features to the national currencies. So it could be an hours system that is completely different from national currency. It's created when if all of us in a room are in an hours system, I can go mow your lawn, then I'll get a credit that I can use to have you come and organize my closet. You then use that credit to have her give you some relationship advice. She uses that credit to have him look inside her head, etc., etc. And this sort of network of relationships is possible without the need for any dollars to flow around the system. This is an interesting, phenomenon, because it's shown that in contrast to what Doug was saying around, well, if I'm just trying to make this relationship with a woman down the road, systems like this that exist, the biggest one is in Japan, where people will care for elderly people and get credits they can then send home to their mother to have people come do elder care for her. And they get much better care out of that than they do out of trained care people, because they say, when I'm going and looking after Mrs. Tanaka, it's like she's my mother. And so even if they're on the other side of Japan, there's this sort of rebuilding of social networks which is possible when you start having different glue in the value system. And finally, we actually need to get the gift economy itself started, and I have some ideas about that, but I want to stop speaking now and just open up and give a chance for the floor to participate. So I want to say, thank you to those guys, and thank you to everyone for listening. And hand it over.